Well, greetings and hello there, golf addicts. Welcome back to another edition of the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. And this week, we're in the land of the stars. We're in Hollywood, Pacific Palisades, California, for the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club and hosted by Tiger Woods. What a great week! We got a star studded field. We got all of the top 10 players in the world in the field this week. It is fantastic. I cannot wait to give you my prize picks plays for this week. But first, I need you to go in and like this video. I need you to go in and comment, put in hashtag Team Pat, something like that. It's just a small ask by the FGS. Need you to go do it. And I would appreciate that. Now, what am I drinking tonight? I got a Cabernet this evening, and it is very good. Okay. It's by it's actually called Educated Guess. Educated Guess. It's fantastic. It's from Napa. It's a 2019 Cabernet, which, by the way, Cabernet tends to, it's one of the wines that really gets better with age. I mean, a lot of them do, but Cabernet really is, it's conducive to older age, which I like. I'm a little bit older. So Educated Guess is something I thought was kind of a cool bottle, but then also you think about what we are doing when we're talking about golfers or when you're picking a wine. A lot of times you're just making a really good educated guess and you hope it turns out right. Okay. So that's why I chose Educated Guess this evening. And here's one thing I'm going to do. Okay. While I'm drinking this wine, I'm going to enjoy the wine. That's one thing I'm going to do. The other thing is, if you stick around, I'm going to give you a little tidbit about Cabernet that might be kind of cool, a cool fact to know for when you're out on a lovely evening with your spouse, or you're out with some colleagues and you want to impress them about your wine knowledge. Just a little tidbit that I think is interesting. So before I get to that, though, let's talk about the plays of the week. And we got to, as we typically do, we got to start with the Pop the Cork play of the week. And that is Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy this week. And here's what the Pop the Cork play is. I talked about it last week. This is a guy I'm all in on, whether it's DFS, whether it's gambling, whether it's prize picks. And here's a few things that I like for Rory this week on PrizePicks. I like the under in the first round set at 69.5 on his scoring. Okay. This is a par 71. I think he can get to 69 fairly easy. All he's got to be is 2 under. I think he's going to have several birdies in this first round. You got a couple pretty easy par fives. You got a drivable par 4 out here. I like that about this course. And, I think he's going to have some bogeys because he always does. He always has some dumb bogeys or whatever. But I still think he's going to have a lot of birdies this week, which brings me to my next play that I like for Rory. And that is the over on birdies, which is currently set at 4. I think he can have 5 birdies. I don't necessarily think he's going to not have any bogeys or anything like that, but it doesn't matter. We just need birdies out of him. And I think he's going to have that in his first round on Thursday. So there you go. That's the Pop the Cork play of the week. Let me get some wine. I'm having a difficult time talking tonight. That always helps. Sometimes you drink too much wine, it makes it more difficult to talk. All right, so let's move on to the Boones Farm play of the week. And this is a guy that I'm going to take the under on, okay? So I'm fading him. And for me this week, it is Dustin Johnson. I'm going to fade him in pretty much everything, okay? And I know he's got a great course record here. I'm okay with that. But have we really seen a whole lot from DJ to give us a lot of confidence? I don't think we have, okay? So here's what I like. I like the under on greens in regulation, which is currently set at 12 for Dustin Johnson. Look, if you look last year, he was 79th on tour when it came to greens in regulation for the entire year. In this field right now, he is 87th in the field in greens in regulation. That's not very good, okay? These are very tough greens to hit. They're some of the toughest greens on tour. There's a lot of slope on this golf course. There's some weird angles if you don't drive the ball well off the tee. So I think that he's going to have a little bit of trouble hitting some greens. Now, he can have a decent week. I'm okay with that, but I think he's still going to miss a lot of greens in regulation. I'll take the under set at 12 for greens in regulation for Dustin Johnson. All right, another sip of wine. Ooh, good stuff. I tell you what, let me tell you a little bit about this educated guess vino. It is very good. It is, as I mentioned, from Napa Valley. It's got this kind of blackberry and cherry fruity flavor. You got some cocoa in there. You got like hints of mint, and they all kind of tie together. Okay, and then there's like a creamy French vanilla kind of finish to it, which is really good. Like a French vanilla, I don't care whether it's coffee, vanilla ice cream, whatever. It's a good finish. Mm. Let me pour a little more, and then we're going to get into my last play of the week, and then I'm going to give you a little fun fact about Cabernet. Okay, so the last play is the FGS Reserve. Yep, we're going down into the wine cellar. We're grabbing the Reserve play of the week, and this is going to be my favorite over of the week. And for me, it is Victor Hovland over greens in regulation. Going against a little bit my theory here about how tough these greens are, but I'm going over on greens in regulation set at 11.5 for Victor Hovland. Last week was not a very good week for Victor Hovland. You know, everybody really wanted to play Victor Hovland. First time really back after playing overseas, playing really well. He had a win overseas at the Dubai Classic, or one of those Dubai golf tournaments, and he won it. And so I think a lot of people were too eager to play Victor last week. But this week, I like him a lot. Okay. He finished fifth here in his first time ever playing in this event last year, a T5. He is notoriously just a great ball striker. He was top 10 all year long on the PGA Tour in greens and regulation. That's a good thing. Okay. And, here's another thing about Victor. He cannot scramble very good. He really needs to hit these greens. Maybe that means he's going to focus just a little bit harder on hitting the greens, because he's going to be pretty worried about what happens if he doesn't. Okay. So I think he's going to be extra conscious of hitting all the greens in regulation that he can. I'm going to take the over at 11.5. I think that's a good number. Pair that up with, one of those Rory overs or unders, or both overs, I guess, or maybe that under for DJ, or whatever you want. You can do all kinds of mixing and matching on PrizePicks. It's good stuff. I love it. So there you go. Those are the plays of the week. Now, here's a little wine knowledge for you. Just a little tidbit I'm going to drop for you. Okay. Now, most people, let me get a little sip. Most people tend to think about red wine and they say, well, I know red wine pairs well with meat. But do you really know why it pairs well with meat? I mean, why? You just say, okay, well, yeah, red wine because it pairs well with my steak or red meat. Well, here's why, actually. Okay. The cab is, it has some major tannins in there. Okay. And tannins is one of the things that also gives wine its color, but it's also very astringent. Okay. Which can, kind of make your skin cells do some funny things like pucker up and stuff like that. Okay. Well, red meats, which are full of fats and proteins, we know that binds with the tannins, and it actually neutralizes that astringent effect. Okay. And so what that does is make the wine even more palatable, and more enjoyable. So next time you're pairing up your red wine with a red meat, that's why. That's why you do that, especially with a cab. Okay. So, throw that knowledge down on some people, when you're at your next outing or whatever it is, talk about some tannins and why those tannins are important in making the wine taste better. All right. That's all I got this week for the FGS. I can't wait to be back next week. We're going over to Florida, hitting the East Coast. Yes, we're done with the West Coast swing after this. And I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Good luck with your prize picks plays. And I'll see everyone next week. FGS